is when you think about, how do you continue to grow a community? How do you continue to grow jobs and good paying jobs? And in the wake of, just the past couple of years, the market has truly taken a great change in business distribution and warehousing and distribution and office buildings because it's able to create good paying jobs. Well, what we did, I've worked with many folks, within the community over the past couple of years, and many of your elected officials, one being Vice Mayor Reggie Leon, on, what can we do for the community to help everyone out? And one of the things that was brought to me a couple of years ago is a roadway for all of our Lake Lucerne residents that are just south of us, because I've been fully aware of, one way in, one way out on Northwest 207th Street. And I feel your pain on game days. A lot of folks always tell me, hey, you must be excited when there's game days. Well, I'll tell you, as a business, as operating a business, it truly hurts our business when there's game days because you can see the congestion on 27th Avenue. But back to always thinking about the residents and being a partner within the community. As I told you, I've been in the gaming industry, where I didn't say this yet, but I've been in the gaming industry for 20 years. I've been at this property going on 13 years. All of my family lives in Miami Gardens. I have a vested interest within the city of Miami Gardens. My daughters go to Simone's dance class right on 27th Avenue and 167th Street. When I think about this community, it's very rare where you find someone in the gaming industry that has lived their entire life where they lead a property. I'm the rare example of that. So that's why I'm so passionate about everything that we do within the city of Miami Gardens. Every time I meet with city staff and elected officials, it's all about what can we do to help the community out. Just to give some small examples of where we always look to partner with the city of Miami Gardens. I'll take the Juneteenth event as an example. We partnered with the city in hosting that event. I'll take throughout this very tough pandemic that we've experienced over the past 2 years on, we looked to see what could we do to partner with the city, and we had food giveaways every single week in our parking lot throughout the entire shutdown. Some other examples is partnering with Vice Mayor Leon on his breast cancer awareness luncheon. Recently, Councilwoman Stevens on his gas giveaway, Councilwoman Julian on her turkey giveaway, and the examples go on, and also partnering with the Miami Gardens Police Department. But back to this project, on what I want to give you guys an oversight of today, and also hear some feedback. And it can be feedback within this forum. You can feel free to come and speak to me one-on-one. You can also pass it along to your city officials with Vice Mayor Leon and Councilwoman Campbell, the Association President Susan Smith, Jennifer with the Crime Watch Association. I welcome all feedback. I'm all about feedback because it allows us to always do what we believe is the right thing to do and always help out the community. So we've listed 115 acres on for sale a couple of months ago, and we recently signed a purchase sales agreement with Cliff Coffee and Link Logistics to purchase the 115 acres. But as I said, as we work with the city and all of your elected officials and city staff, what can we do for the community in Lake Lucerne? And it's creating a roadway, and once we get all settled in and we finish speaking, I encourage everyone to walk up and take a look at renderings that we have up here. But the main focus is the development that we're looking to do. So we're looking to rezone our property, and with that rezoning, it's creating a roadway from the Lake Lucerne community out to County Line Road, also known as 215th Street. We worked very hard, Cliff and our entire teams of engineers worked very hard to explore what are the best options to get a north-south roadway throughout our Calder and Link Logistics property out to County Line Road, factoring that, hey, it's a challenge whenever there's one way in, one way out. I've experienced it here where, there was a fire literally just on the other side of the wall, and it prevented folks from getting in or out of the community. So I'm fully aware of many of the challenges that you guys have experienced over the past couple of years. The roadway that we're proposing, preliminary, after working with our civil engineers for a lot of time, is running through Northwest 22nd Avenue. And the reason that we feel Northwest 22nd Avenue is best is because we explored every north-south option through the Calder property. I've also received initial feedback on Northwest 17th Avenue. Rich, could you take that and look at it as an option? We did look at it as an option, and unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to meet the regulatory requirements to go through Northwest 17th Avenue and get to County Line. So it wasn't an option, not because we didn't want it to be an option, it's strictly based off of regulatory requirements. And after we did our due diligence and investigated that, we came to the conclusion that Northwest 22nd Avenue was the right option, and that's what we wanted to hear feedback on today. An overview of the project. Link Logistics is looking to develop over 2 million square feet of warehouse distribution on the property. That will include creating over 2,000 jobs. Is that right, Cliff? Over 2,000 jobs, well-paying jobs. We're pretty confident in things that we've done in the past. And Calder, as a business leader, in the city of Miami Gardens, always looks to do what's best. Partnering with East Group Properties was one example of that, and you see how East Group Properties buildings look as you drive along the turnpike. And I can tell you, and it's sad that I'm saying this, but as I've led this property for many years, it's a challenge where, for me to admit that the buildings on the East Group property look better than the 1,800 horse stalls that we've had on our property for 50 plus years. It's a great look. I truly believe it increases the value of the property. I think it shows in the sale price that we're working with Link to close on sometime in the first or second quarter of next year. These are renderings. It's working with the elected officials and the city staff to make sure, hey, it's not throwing up just a simple square building and saying, hey, this is what it is. There's meeting certain requirements on landscaping, the color, and we show that example along the 60 acres on the closest to the turnpike right now. That is a quick overview. I'm going to turn it over to Cliff to say a few words, and then I'm more than happy to open up to some additional questions. Thanks, Cliff.
Thanks, Rich. Happy to be here. Thank you all for coming out.
Bring up the mic.
Rich did a great job.
Can't hear you.
Is that better? Sorry about that. Again, Clifton Coffee with Link Logistics. I'm based in South Florida, in Doral, so not too far away. We are an owner of warehouse distribution centers around the U.S. The second largest owner, we're the second largest owner in South Florida. We're actively developing the same product in Doral, in Medley, in Dania Beach, in Pompano Beach, and Opa-locka. And excited to partner with Rich and his team on this project. Certainly excited to bring a roadway to your neighborhood as well. I've been involved for the past 2 years on another project that's nearby, working with city officials to come up with solutions for this north-south roadway. So excited to explore that as we get into early next year with the folks in Miami Gardens to figure out the best solution for the city and for the community. But happy to answer any questions when we get to that stage as well. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Cliff. Some other things I forgot to note, Jennifer, happy to say, Jennifer that oversees Crime Watch Association, brought a proposal to me actually just a couple of days ago, sent the proposal on, residents have always asked for monument signs entering into the community. So Jennifer has proposed 2 monument signs that would say the community of Lake Lucerne. I probably have it backwards, but we are more than happy to commit to building those signs and taking it through the permanent process and everything to be a part of that. In addition to it, one thing I should mention is that we went through a very extensive bidding process and making sure that Calder found the right property. I wanted to make sure we found the right partner in developing this type of project and understanding that Calder has been a community partner for many years, and we're looking for that same partnership. And when we selected Link Logistics, we went through a very extensive process on interviewing bidders, and I can tell you, the final 5 bidders that made it to the table to have an interview with myself and many folks from my team, had to make sure, we had to feel the warm and fuzzy, where a lot of folks can write and say, hey, this is exactly what we're going to do. But I had to feel it. I had to personally feel it during the interview process, and I felt like Link was the best partner to work on this project with. One other thing I want to touch on, so out of the 170 acres that we currently own, selling off 115, and I'm going to retain 55 acres. And what we're going to retain for that 55 acres, and I don't want to make any forward-looking statements. So we are a publicly traded company, and what I'm going to say right now is all preliminary with no commitments at all, has not been explored with anyone within the city. But when you think about, so I know everyone's far away, but as you walk up, this is Northwest 27th Avenue. This is County Line Road. This is the Stadium Hotel. Everything in white is what Link Logistics will be purchasing. Where my finger is moving is Northwest 22nd Avenue. The building right here is the casino building that we're sitting in right now. And then when you look at everything not highlighted along 27th Avenue and coming back to where Link is purchasing, is 55 acres that we're going to be retaining. One of the things that I'm working on right now, and that's going to be for a follow-up meeting down the road, is when you think about Calder sits within the Entertainment Overlay District. And many of the things that your elected officials with Councilwoman Campbell and Vice Mayor Leon is working on is how do you create excitement within the community. You know, one of the things that is always challenging for myself is if I ever want to invite someone out, for lunch outside of our property, there's a great chance you have to leave the city of Miami Gardens, and that's painful for me. And you have to go to neighboring cities as Miramar or Pembroke Pines to have lunch or dinner. So one of the things that I'm currently working on, it's in the initial stages right now, how do we create entertainment retail within the 55 acres of property that we're currently going to retain. So that's down the road, that's in the future. That's something that I just wanted to mention, that we are working on that to make the city of Miami Gardens more grand and continuous improvement. So that's a pretty general overview of what we're working on, but the primary reason for today's meeting was to give you an overview of the land sale, what Link Logistics plans on doing, creating jobs, and ultimately the roadway. One thing to mention on the roadway, and based off of things that have happened in the past, the roadway on Northwest 22nd Avenue that would run through Lake Lucerne, through Calder to County Line Road, will not allow any trucks to go inside the Lake Lucerne community. It is only for the residents to go north-south, back and forth, but it will be a restriction for any trucks to go through the community. All right, with that being said, I'm going to try to find the best way to answer questions. So I'm going to go raise of hands, and I will do you so I hear the question. I have the first question over here, and I'm going to work my way back. Yes, sir. Good.
What's the question? Can't hear. Give him the mic.
So the question was, what are the additional benefits other than the roadway and the monument signs? Is that correct?
We can't hear a thing.
You make a good point. All of City of Miami Gardens residents will have first preference on jobs located within this parcel. Yeah. So without making a commitment standing here right now, and I'd look to Vice Mayor Leon to support me in this statement or disagree with me, I think one of the things that Calder have always done, and many folks in this room could speak of it, I'll use Jennifer as an example, with the putback ways, and everything else that we do within the City of Miami Gardens, that would not change. The continued support that we always do, and Lynette can speak to this and attest to it, we will continue to do. And Link is going to be a partner with us on that. None of that will change at all. We're all neighbors, and we're going to continue to help the community. And I can tell you, every single proposal that comes across my desk on donated, and I'm proud to say this, even throughout the pandemic, I have never said no. I do not have a business card on me personally to give you right now. Yes, you can, absolutely. All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to, you had your hand up first. I'm going to come to you, and I'm going to work my way around. Yes, ma'am.
On the roadway,
Yes.
2 lanes on each side, or one like this?
It's going to be one. I'll let Cliff answer the question.
Excuse me. The question was, is there going to be 2 lanes on each side? So a four-lane road, or a 2-lane road, or possibly even larger than that. We're still in the early stages. We have met with the county. We need to meet with the city on that. It's ultimately, as our understanding is, it's probably going to be a city road. So we need to do our traffic studies with regards to the amount of traffic that's going to come in and out of there. We'll do, whatever we agree to with the city on what's best for people using that road. So it's still to be determined. We are still in preliminary stages there, but it could end up being a larger road.
One other thing to add is that we have not submitted a site plan to the City of Miami Gardens. We do not have an approved site plan. This is all preliminary, and as we work with the city and the county and all the regulatory agencies, I believe what you're trying to communicate is that multiple lanes would be the preference, and it's duly noted, and we do have it noted, but still preliminary, and that is one of the things that we'll discuss when we meet with the city. Yes, sir.
You mentioned about the 55 acres. Question is,
So the first question is, as it relates to the 55 acres that we're going to retain, he asked, have we looked at bringing a hotel within the city? To answer your question, I know this is tough. We're a publicly traded company. Unfortunately, I would not be able to make a forward-looking statement, but what I would say is that I am looking into all options. All options. So there's nothing that is not on that list, and it includes everything. So still in the preliminary stages of an overall master plan, but exploring everything. We're absolutely exploring everything. To add on to that, Calder is just one of many casinos under the Churchill Downs Incorporated, where we have multiple casinos and gaming establishments throughout the entire country, including Churchill Downs Racetrack, where we have the Kentucky Derby. Many of our developments do include hotels. So when we explore everything, we look at jurisdiction by jurisdiction, but I can assure you that it is one of the things that we'll always, we take a look at everything when we go through our master planning process.
it's only one in the city,
That is correct.
the other thing, I know you said meeting with the city and the county. Can we, as residents, bring you a plan of what we would like to see within this area as well?
I'm open to, once we look at the 55 acres, we would have a similar meeting as to what we have today, and welcoming all of the feedback that we get back. But yeah, I am totally open to any recommendations, and that's on a continuous basis where folks have always told me what they would love in the city. I'll take our former mayor that is now the vice chairman for the Board of County Commissioners for Miami-Dade County, Oliver Gilbert, has always mentioned to me, Vice Mayor Leon always mentions to me what we would love to see in the city. So when I say I incorporate that in all of our reviews, I definitely welcome any recommendations or feedback. Absolutely, absolutely.
Not only that, I'm going to talk about turkey, backpack giveaways, sponsorship. That's small potatoes to the residents. I'm talking about something that we, as residents, would like to see. Not what city officials, they're going to have the last say.
I am open to, and for everyone that either has your phone out or a pen out, I'll provide everyone with my email address. And we can follow up and you can speak to me one-on-one, but it's going to be my first name, Richard, R-I-C-H-A-R-D, a dot, and my last name, Sukhu, S-U-K-H-U, at caldercasino.com, C-A-L-D-E-R. I do not have a business card on me right now. Many folks do have my cell phone number. Okay. Not a liquid, sir? We'll talk about it. Any other questions that pertains to the group? All right, question. Have we considered rezoning? Yes, as part of this project, we will be rezoning, yes. We will be making an attempt to rezone, yes. Will be, that's part of the plan, that's part of the plan, yes. The question was, do we plan on rezoning, and part of the plan is to rezone. Yes.
Question.
Yeah, so great question. The question was, when you factor this type of project and traffic, how will it have an impact on County Line Road or Northwest 27th Avenue? Part of the process whenever you're embarking on any of these projects is going through a traffic study, which we have not started yet. And when you go through that traffic study, part of that traffic study is monitoring and looking at impacts. So we have warehouse distribution sites within the city of Miami Gardens that we can take a look at and also compare it. So when you take, and I'm just going to go off of the East Group site, which is the 60 acres that we sold in 2016. I'll use that as an example. There isn't a lot of, there has not been, not saying, hey, it would never be, there has not been a lot of, a lot more traffic as it relates to that site versus what we've always operated on, because as a horse racetrack with horses coming in and out and the thousands of people that we've employed, sometimes, and we learned this in the East Group site, it created a lot more traffic with what we were already doing, and we were actually reducing the traffic based off of what we did with the East Group site, if that answers your question. Yes.
There's somebody over here.
Great question. So the question was, what type of businesses are you looking to bring into this warehouse distribution? And Amazon was one example. Being that this project is a multi-year project, so from the time we break ground and permit and everything, it'd be a couple of years down the road, but we wouldn't be able to lock in certain tenants at this point. What I could say is, to your question about Amazon, could they be a potential client? Absolutely, and we've seen that already within the East Group site and Bridge, which is just west of us. We have seen that, but they're all top tier businesses and Cliff can speak to this a lot more than I do. More than I can, but yeah, they're all top tier businesses, and I would imagine that I can tell you this is a well sought out site throughout the bidding process. I can tell you many folks that were trying to purchase the land were all the best in the country, and I would lean towards, in my personal opinion, not making a forward-looking statement, Amazon would probably express interest as with Link Logistics, Amazon already occupies space within warehouse distribution sites that they currently have. Absolutely, and we've seen that. Yeah, to add on to that, as part of the rezoning process, we have to submit and goes under review by the City of Miami Gardens. There's many things that you would not see on there. I'll give you an example. You would not see a tire repair shop within here. I could use a million different things. You would not see any, it would not be a mechanic shop with cars outside. Those are some of the restrictions, very small group that I'm picking, that would not be included within this site. Everything that would take place everything would take place within the structure and not outside of the property. But to answer your question, Amazon would be probably at the top of the list of folks that have already expressed interest and or would look to express interest in a couple of years once the structures were built.
So we don't know what they're asking because he's just
Did you just recently do
reiterating.
that?
So we don't know what the
Yeah, so
question is.
I think I think the pandemic is affecting every industry. I can speak on it from the gaming industry. I can speak of it within the warehouse distribution industry. You can see the unemployment numbers where over 4 million people resigned from their jobs just last month. So there's an impact on staff, and I can speak to it from my own personal operation where I have over 50 open positions right now. So it's a challenge. I don't think there's any company. I can't say any, but there's many companies within the country that it's just hard to fill all of their roles right now. I can't attest to East Group, but I can attest to Lynx and standing here right next to me that we have made a commitment that it would create over 2,000 jobs.
Yeah, and I actually drove the site.
I can't hear this guy.
Still some tenants that are coming into that site that haven't started operating in a couple of buildings, but there were hundreds of cars out there today. So they were working today. So I'm not sure if it was a weekend thing, but we own similar sites across the county as well as in Miami Gardens, and employment has picked back up to where it was. So it's and a lot of the work that has to be done in the warehouse in person.
What's going on here?
And that part is going to be the next. That's going to be the next phase of, as it relates to this project. That wouldn't include any of those things. And our question was about restaurants. And I'm going to come to the back. I'm going to rework and come to the
Give it
back.
to that
That'd
guy.
be on the 55 acres that we'd be looking to as it relates to everything that's included in the entertainment overlay district. I'm not going to go. You had your hand up for a while.
The 20 acres that they have is 54 acres, so they're going to use 20 acres for restaurant retail.
No, the road
It's-
goes
it's
from,
there.
it just goes, where the school is located.
Yes. Next to the school.
Yeah, it connects all the way to 207, if I'm answering that right. Yes. It connects all the way to 207. 207 straight to 215.
That's what I'm talking
The roadway on Northwest 22nd Avenue would run from 215th Street all the way back to 207th Street. No trucks would be allowed, and as I said, duly noted.
We didn't hear the question.
Crazy.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, there's a traffic study that's included in all of this, and that's why 100% no trucks will be able to come southbound on 22nd Avenue. But your feedback is duly noted.
This guy right there. You
Straight
know
to the
what-
back, yes,
right
sir.
there.
I've been in the chamber of legislature about 40 years. Live right on the other side of the wall. And in the stadium, as an example, there's a lot of unwanted traffic with the stadium expanding and did everything you're doing. What would you do to stop all that unwanted traffic in the neighborhood?
So the question was, whenever there's a stadium event, there's a lot of unwanted traffic that comes within the area. Unfortunately, I feel your pain on that one, and whenever there's a stadium event, I have zero control over traffic as it relates to stadium events. We try our best to do whatever we can to work with the local agencies, but I have zero control over traffic within the stadium that's related to a stadium.
Anytime you expand, you bring people that are not wanted. Like on 27th Avenue, why don't you guys like block that entrance? If you don't belong in there, there's no reason to be in there.
We keep that entrance open. And I'll actually use a perfect example of what's going on right now. And I don't know who's heading this up, but there's a testing site at the entrance at the northern entrance. So if I were to close off that side, just to use as an example, many folks that are getting tested for COVID-19 right now, I allow them to park in our parking lot. So that traffic, everything the parking that you see located on our property as we speak right now is related to the testing site, the testing tent that's set up right now. So I could explore it as an option of cutting down, closing that entrance. Oh, 207? Oh. On 207th, I wouldn't be able to prevent traffic going through 207. It is coming down to 207, but yeah, from 27th Avenue, I mean, it's something that we will note, but to say, for me to make a commitment and say, hey, we could prevent someone in any type of vehicle turning down 207th from 27th and going to a bar gate on 207? I'm not aware of that, but definitely something we'll note and we'll look into. All right, thank you. Next question, yes, ma'am.
Currently 22nd Avenue runs into an apartment complex, a gated community. Are you planning to go around it, or are you going through it? Because currently 22nd runs into an apartment complex. Once you pass the school, which should be a school zone during certain hours, and then you keep going north, you run into an apartment complex. Are you going through that complex, or are you going around it to build that road?
I'll have to take another look at that. I'll have to take another look at exactly how it runs in proximity to the apartment complex you're referring to.
The other question is to the council members. Are you guys going to put to the council members? I can speak
I'm not
loud.
allowed to answer any questions.
Oh, okay.
This is the zoning, this has to come
Okay.
once for zoning,
Well,
so we can only discuss.
To Jennifer and Susan, possibly the council members or the city of Miami Gardens can put a camera up that goes to the real-time crime center in the police station that will monitor that entrance coming and going. And as far as 207th, you can talk with the council members also about having police present to stop people from coming in and out during game days. My suggestion.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Another question, yes, sir.
A couple of questions. You had mentioned the 2,000 jobs. Is that the
Combination of both. Yep.
Can you repeat the question?
The question was as it relates to jobs, does that include the warehouse distribution and construction, and it's a combination of both.
second question is, after the sale is actually done, is Calder still partnering with them, or it's kind of, the sale is done, it's them now?
We will always be community partners because we'll always be community partners. Link will own the parcel, but similar to East Group, everything that East Group does on their side, I'm a part of it.
Okay. Last question was, and this is on to Link.
Yep.
When their construction is done, and now you have all the businesses there, to put some type of time limit, like after 11 p.m., no big trucks are allowed or something.
Yeah, I believe that's, Cliff, you can speak to this on when trucks are able, I believe there's restrictions around this anyway, on during work hours and trucks. The question was, and once again, no trucks would be able to go through the Lake Lucerne community. Everything would be exiting out to County Line Road. But one of the things that we do have to review with the county and the city, and when we go through traffic studies, is the times that vehicles are leaving and entering. So that'd be part of the process. Yep. Yes, ma'am. The park will still be there. Just so I don't get this, there's not a park being eliminated that I'm aware of at all. No, there's no park. There's no park being touched. Yes, sir. Well, let me jump right over here. Yes, ma'am.
Where are you exactly in the process? And the reason I'm asking that is this. I know you're doing an informative meeting tonight. You've already made a statement that it will be rezoned. Have you turned in an application for it to be rezoned? I know that you meet with us first in order to get input and somebody recording all the things that we're saying. So when you meet with us again before you complete your application for a possibility of being rezoned, how do we know that questions and concerns that's been addressed tonight have been addressed? Is there something that would be given to the residents in writing to see whatever they mentioned tonight was addressed, someone paid attention to the concerns? Because you're saying what's going to be and what's not going to be, where are you in the process?
Great question. We have not submitted application yet. No, we have not.
And there are a lot of things that, at least talk to us, to be aware of what it is that you are planning or supposed to do. Then going back to the 8, you're saying that this is what you're going to do. And the reason I'm saying this is because I'm listening to the way that it's being verbalized, and it's almost like you're telling us that these are things you're going to do, and we're going to get a traffic study. So what we're hearing from Mr. Keisha Smith is that the traffic study is not a requirement, literally, until after the first reading with the city council. So we got a lot of stuff that needs to be done, and needs to be reviewed and go back to us and so forth before you get to that point. And these young people in here need to know that. It is fine what you're making us aware of, what you'd like to do. 45 acres, has that acreage been bought yet by someone? Who owns it right now? And if they do own it, are they going to be the one in partnership with you in order to make the application to rezone? Because make a statement, we will rezone. You haven't made an application yet. So I just want to know the process. This is great what you're doing tonight by making us aware of what you would like to do. But we want to be there at the beginning and throughout the process before you turn that application. So we'll make sure that everything that's been said here has been addressed, and someone's paid attention to it. And if someone's recording it, and we get.
So I'm not recording anyone in here. So
I'm sorry, say again?
no one's being recorded in here.
No. If someone recording the concern so that you will be able to address it.
Writing.
Yeah, we're taking notes of this meeting,
So
yes.
whatever you're taking notes on, people like Jennifer, people like Susan,
Yes.
in the community, will they have a copy of that and make sure that everything that has been addressed, so when you come back again, that it has been addressed, so they can get it out to the residents, so they'll be aware. If someone's hearing you, they have not turned in an application yet.
And the reason that we haven't turned an application yet is because we wanted to hear the feedback from the residents. So the last thing that I want to do is submit an application, not meeting with the residents first. So that's the reason why we have not submitted an application yet. Yes, sir.
You said that the goal is going to be you say the goal is going to and then comes down to county line. Only if it's right turn going east, or if we're going to have to help the county something like they want to go east or west.
The question was, with the roadway that goes out 22nd Avenue to County Line Road, will you be able to go east or west? Once again, this is preliminary, and until, when you get to County Line Road, will you be able to go east or west? Ultimately, the goal will be to be able to go east and west and have it as a signalized entrance, but until we meet with all of those regulatory agencies to say, hey, what is able to be done or what's not able to be done, unfortunately not able to make a commitment today, but the goal is to be able to go east or west. Yeah, what we're going to be proposing is to have a signal at that entrance. Signal. Yeah, this one is not by the turnpike at all. Yeah, this is all the way to 22nd Avenue. Yeah, so it impacts city, county, and obviously state once you come out to a County Line Road. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Well, let me start there first.
Looking in the future, and I'm looking at a once peaceful community. And what I'm seeing, first of all, the Formula One was already approved. We already heard they already started. So it's like we're gonna be down in a valley. This is Formula One over here doing their thing. Everybody getting a piece of the pie because it's not a community where people stand up too much. I mean, they want the money coming into the community, and they'll do anything to get that money. They better be real. I mean, the children already what they're going to be exposed to with the rubber, with the noise. with that, and then here comes all this extra traffic. You know, people have lived at their house for years. Do you live in Miami Gardens, sir? I guess not. Oh, okay. You know, so it's kind of what I see from simply, you know, from what has happened in the past, the areas when all of this industry and all these resources and all these interests come in, that's the primary focus. The economics and what they can make, not necessarily the families. And I don't see Lake Lucerne being what it used to be with all of this. You're all very nice and very sweet, but that's good. I respect that. But really to face it, and if we're being real, you know, it's gonna be some real changes with all this economic, all this money coming in that the mayors can't resist. They can't resist.
Thank you. Just to make sure, you just wanted to make some comments, no questions, right? I just wanted to make sure. All right. Sounds good. Yes, sir.
Yeah. My first question to you was about the resort and stay before how is this going to affect Lucerne directly to the resort?
How will it directly affect Lake Lucerne?
Yes, because that's what's going to happen, right? Because you want to get the concern.
Yeah,
Directly on Lake Lucerne, right?
yeah, it's about the
That's
over.
what it is. But this isn't that made at all. Yes.
We have not submitted an application to the city of Miami Gardens yet. It has not went through a review with the city of Miami Gardens yet, and the purpose of this meeting was to get feedback from the community before we officially submit an application.
So you can use that meeting tonight to say, remember the community, it's not like an answer.
No, I'm not. I'm using the purpose of this meeting to receive feedback so I can go back with my team and along with Cliff's team to see what things we need to tweak in order to, you know, respond back to the feedback that the residents provided tonight. Sure, it's something that we could certainly look into. I won't commit to that tonight. I mean, no, we don't have a zoning hearing set because we haven't officially submitted an application. Yes, ma'am. What is our? So is it, Cliff, you want to take the question?
What was the question?
It was about how will this have an impact on the environment. So one of the things I'll speak of is within this parcel of land, there will be no type of work taking place outside of the facilities. There will be no smokestacks. There's no work within this warehouse distribution that takes place outside of the structures at all. What is the give back to the community? Well, I'm listening to feedback right now, and the main thing was just over the years on multiple meetings that I've attended, I've always heard Northwest 207 was always one way in, one way out. So versus constructing anything on our parcel of land without creating ingress-egress to the Lake Lucerne community, north-south, has always been a concern that I've always heard of. So one of the things that I've always had top of mind is creating a roadway out to County Line Road so there wouldn't be one way in, one way out as it currently is. Yeah, I can't speak of anything related to Formula One.
You can't hear anything.
What I wanted to ask, I have my whole dinner for
Well, walking in here today was the roadway that I was looking to present, but if there's something else that the community, in addition to all the feedback that we received, if there's anything additional that you'd like to add on to that, I'm more than welcome to. Okay. Sounds good.
I
Yes.
didn't know what the comment was.
Good. So it's good. it's part of the overall project, so it's not just the question is, could we just build a road before we do anything else? And it's an overall project that goes into overall permitting, so it's not one-off. That we would be submitted when we officially submit our application. The roadway would be included in that application. It would just be part of the overall project, but we haven't laid out full construction timeline at this point yet. Yes, sir. So it's going to be a partnership as if it turns out to be a city road, but ultimately the question was as it relates to lighting on the roadway that we would be creating. Link Logistics would be taking the lead on making sure it meets all of the regulatory requirements as it relates to lighting. Yeah, whether it's a city road or a county road, lighting would be a requirement. So yes, lighting would be covered. Everything related to the roadway would be covered by Link when constructed. Yes, sir.
No. They'll just send it when they do their meeting.
You guys are good around that area, you just think that being bad conditions. Didn't you guys bring all part of it, do your thing, like make a school, that's a big thing. They say what we get out of here for 40, 50 years, everybody's coming around making it look good, everything that stays around.
Great question. So he asked, is there anything else like the parks that needs, a little bit of sprucing up? And that's the point of this meeting, and that's what I want to make clear. The point of this meeting is to listen to the feedback on recommendations and whether you guys would like to funnel. So there is a follow-up, whether you'd like to funnel it through Susan Smith and Jennifer. I'm more than open to that, but that's the whole purpose of why this is the first meeting. Listening to what it is that we can do. We didn't come in here saying, hey, these are the things that we want to do, not listening to any of the residents, but listening to say, hey, this is what we'd like to see you do, and then we can take it from there and follow up with you on what is feasible.
Sometimes lights be off for like 5 weeks. And that park been down for like 10 years.
What?
I missed someone that had their hand up right here. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you know what?
You got it? Oh, thank you.
I put my email address right.
Yeah, I think it's nice. I just want to know what they're going to do with that 54 acres because that's close to the wall.
Were you here earlier?
Yeah, I heard what he was saying.
Yeah,
but,
he was.
Yeah, I know but that's my only thing.
The interesting thing is, everybody's asking this man a question. When he sells it, that's it. That's like
So the question related to just overall feedback and recommendations, and part of that is that I welcome whatever feedback that you guys have, and like I said, I provided my email address, and I welcome everyone to email me whatever feedback that you have in addition to what we discussed today, and then we can have follow-ups based on that as I continue to receive it. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
My last name is spelled S-U-K-H-U. At Calder Casino, C-L-D-E-R-C-A-S-I-N-O. Yes, sir. sounds good. Yes, ma'am.
Never seen him before in my life.
But someone writing down and have that person have a right to exactly what that person has a question. So we don't have to prove being exactly what we said. This is a great start. What it is,
So I heard all the comments that you made, and as far as the next meeting, that date has not been determined. Who will have that information? As this meeting took place, I would set that date and I would communicate it through Susan and Jennifer. All right, well, in conclusion, I'd like to thank everyone for your time today, and thanks for coming out. Hope everyone enjoyed dinner. I think we had a great conversation. It is the direction in the right step, and like I said, this was the first meeting for us to receive feedback and be able to move forward in the process. So I thank you again. Everyone has my email address, and I hope you enjoyed your time tonight. Also, thank you. Also, have a gift. Have a gift if you want to come by and grab a box. We have 75 of them. I was told we'd have approximately 40 to 50 people here today. So kind of went a little bit higher, but if you'd like, feel free to grab a gift on as you leave tonight. Thanks a lot, and thanks for showing up.
What's the gift? A power bank. I'm taking.
Also, neighbors, I would like to ask if you could please
Let me
sign
take
the
3 for these
sign-in sheet
people.
so that I can call you, inform you about the follow-up meeting.
No, I'm taking it for her.
So don't leave without signing in on the sign-in sheet that's going
I'm in the back.
Please. Thank you.
Asking everyone to grab one box, please.
Where'd they go? Oh. Did they come up? Here, Miss Audrey. Here. I was looking. Did they come up here? Oh, power bank. To charge. Oh no, I'm getting it for 2 people. Yeah.
What is it?
It's a power bank to charge.
Oh,
Yeah, I was getting it for them. That's why I was like, wait, where'd everybody go?
what's your pleasure?
Hello, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Fabulous. Oh, you can. Yes.
Didn't you remember her when they were doing the
Okay.
story from over at the senior? You remember
Yes,
you
where I
interviewed
record you guys. Yeah.